Good evening, Jeremy Fernandez with a special edition of ABC News. At least one person has died in an unfolding emergency in northern New South Wales as the region is hammered by its worst flooding in decades. The hardest hit area stretches from Chinderah near the Queensland border down through Murwillumbah and through Lismore. With more than 500 millimetres of rain falling, dozens of rivers have burst their banks. There have been hundreds of flood rescues. Around 20,000 people have been ordered to evacuate their homes. Tonight, ABC reporters Jake Sturmer, Ruby Cornish and Jackson Vernon are in the flood zone, and our coverage begins in Lismore.
A flood rescue right in the heart of the Lismore CBD. This man woke up to find himself surrounded by water and unable to leave. With the flood rising fast, getting out was a tricky operation.
Very tricky. It's very fast running through there. It's the first time it's run through there since the levee overtop, so we didn't know what to expect.
The CBD started going under when the levee was breached early this morning. It's the first time the water has come over the levee since it was extended 12 years ago.
Look, the speed it rose yesterday was unprecedented, so we had up to 500 and 600 millimetres of rain recorded in some gauges in the catchment. So that for a 24-hour rainfall is never happened before. So there's been a lot of warning, but it does break the records and it does give us reason to look at how we plan for the future. Within hours, the streets of the city were transformed into a series of rivers.
I went to bed at 3:30 this morning, there was nothing. And 6:30 this morning, it just rose about probably, I don't know, maybe half a metre every 5-10 minutes.
Craig Antrows and his family are getting ready to evacuate their house if they need to.
We're actually just getting close to making the decision. We've got a mark on the house, so if it gets above that, we'll pull the pin.
The destruction was widespread. Everything in the path of the floodwaters was swallowed up, from homes to crops and even the airport. Residents and business owners scrambled to save what they could.
Fair bit of money tied up here for some local businesses, so lend a hand when you can.
Others weren't so lucky.
Just lost everything, mate. My caravan's underwater, my whole home is gone. So a lot of other people.
How do you know it's gone?
My next door neighbour but one just phoned me and said it's under. I live in between Keene Street and Little Keene Street. Big hole in the ground. My caravan is drowned.
Right now, we're in the middle of what's normally the Lismore CBD, and as I look out, there is water as far as the eye can see in every direction. It's very quiet, it's very eerie out here, and as we're travelling along, I'm seeing shop after shop with water halfway up, and there are cars, petrol bowsers completely submerged in the water, and there's debris everywhere. There were repeated warnings from authorities not to venture into the floodwaters. But there's frustration that message isn't getting through.
This is a real emergency and a very dangerous unfolding situation with extreme consequences.
With the record flood, a large clean-up is expected. But among all the gloom, there was some good news. A cage full of birds, rescued in the nick of time.
And Jackson Vernon joins us now from Lismore. Jackson, what's the latest there?
Good evening, Jeremy. Well, the waters look like they're slowly receding here in Lismore, but despite that slight improvement, there's still an unfolding emergency here. The Bureau of Meteorology has reissued a flood warning for the Wilsons River, which is expected to peak just below the record set in 1974. Now, authorities are saying it could be a day or two before these high water levels properly recede and to allow business owners and residents to return and begin the big clean-up.
Jackson Vernon in Lismore, thank you.